Hey everyone! In today's video, I'll be going over some tips regarding the garden update on Hypixel SkyBlock. The garden update introduced a load of new things that focuses on farming, and here are some tips to help you. One of the main things that the garden introduced was this thing called Compost. Compost can be actually acquired in the composter, where on the right side you put in fuel such as biofuel or even oil barrels, and on the left side you put in stuff that you can basically farm such as wheat, enchanted potatoes, even watermelons. The only thing I find that you cannot put inside the crop meter is seeds and enchanted golden carrots or even golden carrots. One thing that you can do is for the fuel meter, instead of putting any biofuels, which you can purchase from the desk right here for 20,000 coins, you could actually put in oil barrels. So oil barrels, they can be found in the crystal hollows, and as you can see right here, I found them. If you can just mine and just find any chest, you're pretty much getting 10,000 fuel just for free, as well as just making some money for sludge juice. And one thing you could actually do is if you don't want to actually make any compost yourself, if you actually go towards the bazaar, you could just buy it from here. I recommend if you don't play the update today, these prices are just pretty much dropping just every day. If you can go to the graph, they're around like 400,000 and now they're at 100,000. So I recommend just waiting just to get this compost. Now going back to the desk on the garden, if you go towards the garden milestones and you're focusing on visitor milestones for the offers accepted or the unique visitors served, I'm going to be focused on offers accepted. A tip that you can do is if you do have a visitor that did come to you and you don't really like the offer, you could just decline it and just look for something that you can do, such as the Jacob's ticket. That's pretty much very easy. The enchanted cookie, maybe not. And pretty much it. That's what you could do for the visitors. If you're only looking for unique visitors served, what you would want to go is towards the visitors logbook, and you could see how to unlock many visitors. So as you can see, I would just have to talk to NPCs just around Skyblock. And you could also see if you actually click on the NPC that did visit your garden, it will say right here times visited and offers accepted. Now we're going to be focusing on the plot. The plot essentially is the most important piece to this update, and it's usually just the core of the garden, as you're just going to be just farming. And if you're going to be using any of the default setups, this is the default setup for wheat. If you look closely, none of these default setups actually include any light. So one thing that you can do is just pretty much break any piece of wood, and if you go to the hub and off to this builder NPC, it's going to be past this NPC called Jamie. And under variety, you could choose sea lanterns or glowstone. We're going to go back towards the garden. And you could pretty much basically configure this plot of how you would like it. And once you are happy with how it looks, is you want to go back towards the desk to your barn and go under towards configure plots. And you would want to click on the plot that you did configure. And right here where it says save preset, it will pretty much just save how the plot looks, including if you made any changes and if you do any glowstone. So right now I pretty much have a preset already, and we're just gonna look at that. Now the only problem with the presets is that it doesn't come with the option to automatically place the seeds. But one thing that you could do if you go towards the hub and go upstairs towards this Jacob's house and click on Anita, you could actually get this basket of seeds. It costs 2 silver medals and a Jacob's ticket. Also, another thing is that you could actually put as many plot modifications that you would like, so any more presets. I have one for wheat, carrots, potatoes, and I have another one for pumpkins and melons. So if you want, you could actually make one for cactus, cocoa beans, mushroom, netherwort, of how you would just like it. You just have to build it once, and then would just go back to here. You would click on the plot that you would like to preset, and just you would want to save it. Now, pretty much for any Jacob's contest that you are wanting to be participating in, because of how small these plots are and like not as big as the one that you could do on your own island, you would actually want to do 2 consecutive plots that are next to each other. The reason is if you just farm an entire plot right here, the first row that you did farm is not going to completely go back, but if you go towards the second plot and completely farm that one, your first plot that you originally farmed is going to be ready. So that's going to mean for the whole 20 minutes, the Jacob's contest that will be going on, you're going to be farming really consecutively for the whole 20 minutes. Another thing about this update is that once it first day released, a lot of these things that were newly released are pretty much going down in price. The crappies, they were about 300, 400,000, I believe, and they're now like 2,000 each. And these crappies, they're actually made to actually configure better sets that will give you better farming fortune. Even for example, some of the stuff like the wheat seeds, they're actually going down in price. If you go towards the tightly hay bale, I believe this morning it was actually around 4 million, and right now it's just still going down in price. So if you do want to wait till you tackle this update, just for it to be like friendly with your money that you do have on SkyBlock, a tip for you is to actually just wait and just like do this update later on. Another thing as well is that it did introduce stuff like these farming tools. I'm going to be honest, you just would want to like stick with the Jacob's contest tools. The reason is because they're pretty much better, especially if you are focusing on singular crops, as they will give you more of the crop that you do use for the tool. Even stuff like the Lotus bracelet or like the whole Lotus accessories, they're pretty much going down in price, so you don't have to get the copper if you don't want it right now. You could also do the copper passively, as really these accessories just give small farming fortune, and it does depend on accepting visitor offers. Now, overall, this update really introduced something that was pretty much needed, where you don't have to create your biggest farms on your island, and you could just like create 2 just right here on the garden, because that would pretty much be certainly enough for the Jacob's contest. And as well as the incentives of crop milestones, as you can see right here, if you farm a certain amount, you could gain garden experience, you could gain farming experience, and as well as skyblock XP. Now that is really all there is that I want to include in this video. I want to say thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, as well as commenting. That helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be the March 2023 bingo guide. Peace.